let's talk about more mistakes that flippers make. Okay, we're on our about fifth mistake here, and this one's just a really little nuance, and this is timing the market. So one big mistake that flippers make is they fail to time the market accurately. Now, there's this old saying in real estate, and it is true, and that is time in the market always outdoes timing the market. And that is absolutely true, which is one reason I believe pretty much in hold and long-term hold properties, right? Because if I keep it in the market long enough, market's going to appreciate. But for flippers, they're very dependent on how are they timing the market. So first of all, they need to buy at a time when they can get the property at a discounted price or a price that's worth flipping it. Well, how do you get that and then somehow time it now where you can get the maximum value for the property? Now, so let's talk about a couple of things that they run into. Number one, for most people, even for a home remodel or renovation of your own house, you need to know this. Most people underestimate dramatically the time it takes to renovate, flip, or remodel a home or a real estate property. And so if you're thinking 3 months, I want you to take that and I want you to double it. All right, so if you're thinking I can do this renovation or I can do this flip in 3 months, make it 6 months and make sure that 6 months will work with whatever your goals are. Because if you get in there and let's say you buy it in February and you're wanting to sell it in spring. Now, here's the way the real estate market works. This is Real Estate 101. You go back as far as you can. You listen to Brian Buffini, whoever. There are some just kind of rhythms and laws of real estate. And one of that is this. Okay, this little cycle. Every single year in fall and winter, real estate sales go down. Guess what they do every spring and summer? And this happens every year over and over and over across decades. So when you list your home in spring and summer, you typically have more available buyers and you may get a higher price for your property. If you list your home in fall or winter, less buyers are out there. You're competing with holidays, you're competing with lots of other things, but you list it in fall and winter, and typically less buyers, which means you have less competition for your home, lower price, just easy supply and demand, right? So let's say they buy it in February and they thought it was going to take 3 months. So they're going to get it ready for it. Let's say February, March, April, then we'll have this thing ready to go in May. Well, instead of ready to go in May, it takes 6 months. And so now it's ready to go about September, which is right about the time the market starts to slow down. And so we really want to talk through timing a little bit because you want to put your property on market at a time when you've got lots of buyers. Again, really hard to do if you bought it at a time in the market when it was discounted and now you're wanting to sell it for a time in the market where the price is elevated. And so you might just find yourself trying to sell it at another time that's discounted. The other thing you need to know is understand the timing of your overall market wherever you live, your neighborhood, your community. I'm in Lubbock, Texas right now. We have 2,300 homes on market, and they are on market for an average of 99 days. You probably don't know much about the Lubbock market if you don't live here, but that's not very healthy for our market. That means we have lots of sellers. We're at about 5.5 months of inventory, which means the inventory we have right now, if we could sell it all out in 5.5 months, but it would take 5.5 months to sell it. A really healthy time for sellers is like when that's like 3 months, 4 months, or even below. But for our market right now, it's at 5.5. Guess what? When it goes to over 6, it actually becomes what we call a buyer's market. So we're still considered balanced, although most agents with boots on the ground would say it doesn't feel exactly balanced. It very much feels like a highly favorable environment for the buyer. But it's still considered balanced because it's not over 6 months. If it goes over 6 months, now it's actually a buyer's market. If you're trying to sell that property you bought and it's a buyer's market, guess what? They're going to have lots of options. So in Lubbock right now, 2,300 other options. And if you look in certain price points, it's even worse, like that price point between like 200 to 350, more homes you can shake a stick at. And so if you're trying to compete against those homes, it makes it very difficult to sell that home because you've got so many other homes you're competing with. So you're going to want to make sure that maybe you buy it. I always recommend people, if you're going to do a flip, get it in the fall. Try to get it sometime. I usually look at buying any kind of property in between. Well, really, dove hunting season is a great time to look at. Opening day of dove hunting season, usually the Labor Day, and on through November is a great time to do that because you have time now to get that property and get it renovated or rehabbed in time for flipping it in the spring. If you're a flipper, or summer, you give yourself the whole spring or summer to get it finished, so you can get it out there during that season. Or if you're even getting ready for a lease, what we find in Lubbock, it's a college town, and so lots of leases are actually signed in April. We want to have it completely ready to go right before April so that we're able to market it maybe in March and have it ready to go. If you have to do a major renovation, that might take you 3 or 4 months. Weather can slow it down, all kinds of things. Contractors can slow it down, permits can slow it down. You don't want to get caught if you're even trying to rent it like in September, October, November, because it's very difficult to find a renter. So you're really trying to practice a lot of timing as a flipper. As a flipper, you know what the worst thing you could do? You buy it at a time when it's discounted, and now you get it flipped in time, but the market is still a discounted market or a plateaued market, and it happens to be fall or winter, and it also happens to be tons of homes on the market. That would probably be your worst case scenario or your perfect storm. And for me, I've got a flip house I did and really ran into that perfect storm. Took me much longer to get it ready. Didn't list it till around end of summer. Buying season's pretty much wrapping up. Our prices here are plateaued, and I'm in the market where the homes, the highest percentage of homes for sale in that 2,300 are for sale in that particular price range. Made it very difficult to sell. I'll give you the punchline to all that and the result of all that down the road, because I've made lots of mistakes, and this is another one of them that I've made. So I'll let you know, as a flipper, one of the biggest things to avoid is underestimating your renovation time and poorly timing the market.